Reality television often portrays people, women especially, in constant trauma and drama, as if they're divas, drama queens, superficial, overly emotional, or even unintelligent. Ingrid, Barbara, and I want to show that women can work together toward a meaningful shared goal, but that it's not easy. Communication between three very different people is always difficult, and working through friendships and working relationships is also very hard. Conflict is part of the human condition, not women's inferiority or need for drama. It's how people deal with the conflicts when they arise that is one of the most important parts of collaboration, the resolutions, how well we work through it. People have been utilizing quote-unquote drama as a means for expressing conflict and resolution for centuries in performance, theater, literature, and even in paintings and drawings. It is a term that is often misused now to insinuate an excessive amount of superficial or emotional reactions, often used against women as we are considered more emotional and more dramatic than men. I did my thesis on street art in Los Angeles and the history of it.
Oh, great.
But haven't really done too much work in that sense. It kind of came up right at the beginning of the Art in the Streets installation. So of course I had to hold back my thesis until that show had come up so I could include that in it. But it's exciting.
Well, it's really interesting to me because all the art world and the teachers have absolutely no recognition or interest in Banksy.
Yeah.
None. Did you find this?
None of my teachers knew anything about street art at all.
Right.
In grad school.
Yeah.
So it was like, are you sure you want to do this? I don't know how much information is out there. I'm like, there's plenty of information.
Right. Yeah, it's just not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of frustrating because here you have all these people who are railing against the art world and the institutionalization of art and the art schools and the mega galleries, but they don't want to look at what the alternative is. They
kind of set in their ways.
Anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't count unless it's run through their little system.
Yep.
And I find that quite hilarious.
Yeah, that would help. I'm just freaking out. That the worst feeling is doing all this work and then no one shows up, so.
But it's not the point.
No, I understand.
The point is
no, I understand.
the experiment, and it's still early, so
I know.
That's okay. Even if we only have 3 people going in and confessing,
right?
That's all that we really need.
Yeah, I know.
The Feminist Confessional is a participatory project that we thought would bridge the gap between feminist performance, reality television, education, and meaningful thought about feminism and gender roles in our current society.
I almost ask you back, what is feminism? It seems like it's kind of puts women in a box, and we shouldn't be in a box.
Feminism is about equality. It's about making sure that everybody is treated equally.
How do they relate best?
Yes, to be the most productive.
Right. They work best as equals.
Right.
Like men work hierarchically.
Okay.
But women work best as equals and contributors to, to a single goal.
I think being in a group, a unit of women, equality begins there. I see so many women tear each other down, and they don't exhibit equality amongst themselves.
Feminism is just the act of striving towards.
There are no wrong answers.
Equality for women, or whatever that means.
Okay. So you think women should be treated equally to their male counterparts?
Yes.
Alright.
Do you disagree?
No, being a woman who makes less than men, no, I definitely don't disagree.
You make more than some men.
Sure.
Wait, they really pay you less? They pay you less than a male with the exact same job?
I'm pretty sure.
I should go talk to them.
What are you gonna do?
Make them pay you more.
Intimidate them with your 6'4" stature?
Yes.
So, feminism, huh? Well, I definitely think I'm a feminist, but what that means exactly, it's hard to pinpoint. I feel like being a feminist maybe means being pro-woman, because I don't think feminism is about women being more important than men, and I don't think feminism is about equal rights, although I think that's an important part of it. But I think it's more about exploring everything to do with being a female.
Well, okay, do you know what feminism is? Yeah. Okay. Well, you're pro-feminism, and so am I. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Okay, so feminism means, what does feminism mean to you? It means, like, how you look, right?
I was always deemed the tomboy, and so I kind of linked feminism with how girly I was. And as I grew up, I learned it was something different. I learned it's just, to me, it's embracing your gender. Feminism's just equality. Feminism's being proud to be a woman and knowing that you're capable of anything you want to do. Anything you want to do. And I think that it's very prevalent today, if not more so than it has been, because we're told we're living with all the freedoms we have, but we see that it's not true. And so it's our time to take feminism and run with it.
Okay. Well, I guess I was a feminist before I knew it. I mean, feminist to me, now in retrospect, looking back when I was, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old, it was me not liking that my cousin and my dad and my uncle would get the bigger piece of chicken.
Now, my mom went back to school when she was, I don't know how old she was, but when I was in high school. And she got her degree. She was at Cal State Fullerton, as a matter of fact. And she sat in the front row. She was one of very few older women going back to school. And sat in the front row, eager to learn. And it was in an art class. She was an art major. And the art teacher said to her, when the class began, "Would you please sit in the back and let the serious students sit in the front?" And that stuck with her, because obviously she was a serious student.
When I first started, or when I first actually became aware of the term feminism, I was a young kid, and back then in like the 60s or 70s, feminism meant essentially women starting to enter the workforce, starting to drive, trying to get equal rights and equal footing with men. And I remember my mom when she started to drive. I mean, it was unusual back then in the early 60s, late 60s, for a mother to actually learn how to drive a car. I know it sounds weird now, but that was 40 years ago, 45 years ago.
These things, these issues, they don't go away. I'm the second oldest of 6 children. My father died when I was a junior in high school. My mother had 6 children, from a freshman in college to a 7-year-old. I remember how she struggled. This was in 1974. I remember how she was asked to give up her credit cards because she was considered to have to be a person with no credit.
It helps us give us that perspective that we wouldn't have otherwise, because the world's too dominated by old white people, old white men. in the past, landowners, etc. So it's a unique perspective that the world needs more.
So I remember a teacher telling me once that if a man raped me, it would be my fault because of what I was wearing. And so if feminism wasn't around, I wonder what other thoughts would be more prominent in today's society. So feminism is very important, and it should be very prominent today.
How would we like to, this ended kind of dark. Do we want to end this on a lighter note?
Yeah, sure. All right, so a rope walks into a bar.
That'll be good. How are you feeling about your show?
Well, I'm really nervous. I can still fit you in. I want to photograph you here, like today.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. I think all my invites are out.
Good.
I just want to go to like Claremont because it's right across the street.
Good.
Invite all the faculty, and then from there, I'm just nervous because they give you the keys on Thursday night, and then my show's Friday. So.
Oh yeah, you have to do it.
I have to do it like right away, so.
Well, I'm planning on writing the article that we talked about, the press article tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
If you can send me any statement or info that you had been kind of working on for it.
Okay.
And maybe if you had just logistics, like how many pieces you're going to have in your show.
Oh, okay.
And which ones are they,
Okay.
That kind of thing, so I can just get an idea of what it'll look like, whether or not it'll actually look that way,
Okay.
Okay. So I can just describe it a little bit more.
Perfect, okay.
And do you have a bio that you have readily available?
Yes, but I have to update it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could do that sometime tomorrow night or something.
I'll work on it today and send it to you tomorrow for sure.
That'd be good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Traces of Consciousness is a seminal series for my graduate education and is full of intimate drawings exposing the honest and vulnerable moments in life. These figurative drawings capture the idea of the human condition and introspective moments that are tied to time and memory.
It's amazing. I can't believe how many people are here. It's incredible. I'm so blown away by it. I thought no one would be here. And then, don't be silly. It's just, it's like getting ready for your wedding. It's just like 4.5 years going all into this opening, and then, God, what if nobody shows up? And 4 years. It took me forever. I shouldn't have taken this long, but I did. So. Oh my God, thank you. We were just talking about you. You're so pretty. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous. Look at you. Thank you. Oh my God. He's gonna hate that I tell you this. The fireplace outside in the backyard is like 30 degrees. He's like sitting on it, super cold. Just like, come on, babe, just a couple more.
Hence the hands.
Right.
I'm sweetheart.
Yeah.
Good guy for doing that for you.
Oh yeah.
While he's here.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
He begged me, please don't put it up. I'm like, babe, I need, I won't have enough work on the wall.
He's a sport. I like that 4-panel one.
Yeah? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was,
You really, your technique is just unbelievably
Thank you.
tight.
Thank you.
Not unbelievably, but it's super good.
It's tight, but the material's so sensitive. That's the only problem with the work.
Well, I guess you have to deal with that with the shipping and whatever.
Yeah. So I have to figure out another way, but until then, show must go on. I have to have the work up, so.
Yeah. Well, what you need to do is hook up with a gallery that just deals with it all for you.
Yeah, right?
I think you actually have a very good chance to do that. I think your work is, it's high quality, and I think people can relate to it. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you did that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm glad. So a lot of people have misconceptions about feminism, and they think that it means that women want to be above men, but it actually means that we want to be equal to men, or in my opinion. Because women are still not equal in this society, even if, it might seem so, we're still treated like we're below men. And it's not fair because we make up half of the world's population, and women give birth to men.
It first occurred to me that I was pregnant after being up for a few days around the clock. I was caring for my mom in ICU and thought, this is what it will be like to take care of a newborn. Then I thought, maybe I'm already pregnant. My husband and I had just started trying, so it felt like a big surprise. We couldn't be happier. A month ago, my mom received a liver transplant. She had been on the wait list for 8 years. I'm relieved to know my son will know his grandma. Last week, my dog was diagnosed with mammary cancer and had surgery right away. She's my baby. Life is so fragile. How will I take care of a newborn?
When I meet a new person, I just think of them as a human, like what qualities they have. I don't consider their gender the first thing. And I feel like feminism is about honoring that and not having your gender say things about you or that it would mean something. That of course you're a good cook because you're a female, or because of course you'd be nurturing and things like that.
Feminism, I think that this is the hope for the world.
And when people ask me, what does feminism mean to you? I think that most people at first, they think it means equal rights for women, extremists. There's all these negative connotations to it. But to me personally, and to the people that I love, and the people that I work with, and the people that I'm near with, my family, I think that feminism is one of the best things in the world.
I feel like feminism kind of has a strong, negative connotation of extremism. Like that's kind of how people view it today, and I'm not entirely sure that's an accurate depiction of what feminism actually is. And I feel like, feminism is kind of more of a term of the past in that it was a bigger movement a long time ago, and that in today's society it's not as prominent and it's not as it's not as effective. Like people aren't really coming out and like trying to promote feminism today in a really strong way.
And I would have had to say, well, I use the term feminism, and what he's trying to communicate to me is it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because no one can agree on what it means, and therefore it's an invalid term. And if it's an invalid term and you don't know what it means, it's useless to you in your work because it doesn't tell you anything about what you're dealing with, what your actions are going to be, in the past what they've been, in the present what they need to be, or predict the future in any way. So get rid of it.
Why do we have to have feminism?
The term feminism is an important one to me. Feminism is important to me for my daughter Molly and for all the young women and all the young men who need to be treated with respect.
I feel like feminism is really important today because when men are telling women what they can and can't do with their body, there's a problem.
So yeah, that's why I think feminism is very important. It's getting kind of hot, so should we go?
Getting hot up in here.
So yes,
take
it's
off
very
all
important.
Your clothes.
It's pretty weird in here, and I'm really impressed that people have come in here and just totally opened up. I have no idea what anybody said, but all night there has been a steady flow of people coming in here and sharing their thoughts on feminism, and I can't wait to hear their thoughts as we start to gauge what feminism means today.